Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. Today we're going to do NBA, NHL, and college basketball. From yesterday, look ahead to today's games. In each sport, then we'll do soccer, we'll do tennis. We're going to do a college basketball Power 6 check on the Power 6 teams, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start the NBA. We'll recap the games from yesterday, look ahead to today's games. Bucks over the Raptors, 130-122. Spurs over the Nets, 106-98. No Kyrie or KD. Nuggets over the Blazers, 122-113. And the Sixers over the Clippers, 120-110. All right, 9 games tonight, 7:30. We have the Wizards and the Knicks. My line is New York by 9.25. Total 225 and 2 fits. And it's 6.5 and 222.5. I'll take the over. ESPN, Hawks, Mavericks. Mark Jones and Jeff Van Gundy on the call. My line is Dallas by 2 3/4, total 227 and 19/20. And it's 2 234. Give me the under. Hornets, Rockets. My line is Houston by 5 3/4, total 229 and 1/10. And it's Charlotte by 2, total 237. I have an almost 8-point edge on the under, and I have a little less than 8-point edge on the Rockets. I'm going to take the under. Cavs, Grizzlies. My line is Memphis by 4.5, total 223 and 4 fits. And it is 8 and 228.5. Give me the under. Heat, Pelicans. My line is the Heat by 3 3/4, total 224. And it's 3 and 219.5. I like the over. Pacers, Thunder. My line's OKC by 8, total 232 and 3/10. And it's 4 and 239.5. I like the under a lot. 9 o'clock, Clippers, Jazz. My line is Clippers by 5.5, total 227. And Utah's a 5.5-point favorite, total 227.5. They must think that Kawhi and PG are sitting. Give me the Clippers getting the 5.5 and plus 184 to win outright. 10 o'clock, ESPN, Timberwolves, Nuggets. Dave Pasch and Doris Burke on the call. My line is Denver by 13 1/4, total 230 and 7/20. And it is 8 and 236.5. I like the under. And last but not least, 10:30, Kings, Lakers. My line is the Kings by 5 1/4, total 236 and 1/20, and it's 4 and 245.5. Woo, that's a high total. Give me the under. All right, now move on to the NHL. We will recap the games from yesterday and look ahead to the games being played tonight. Canadians over the Jets 4-1. Flyers over the Ducks 5-2. Leafs over the Panthers 5-4 in overtime on a game winner by William Nylander. So that was an easy best bet win. Wild over the Caps 4-2. Preds over the Blue Jackets 2-1. Blackhawks over the Sabres 4-3 in OT on a game winner by Seth Jones. Coyotes over the Red Wings 4-3 in a shootout. And the Oilers over the Kraken 5-2. So there goes the Kraken hot streak coming to an end. Now we'll look ahead to tonight's slate. Only 5 games. 7 o'clock, you have the Penguins at the Senators. God, does Pittsburgh need this game? They're minus 118. Ottawa's minus 102 over under 6. Over's minus 122. Under's even money. Pens minus 1.5 is plus 2. 5 cents plus 1.5 is minus 260. I'm giving the Pens minus 118. TNT, Bruins, Islanders at 7:30. Bruins minus 170, Isles plus 146, over under 5.5, minus 110 each way. Bruins minus 1.5 is plus 142, Isles plus 1.5 is minus 176. Ooh, this is a good one. I like the under, but I don't feel good about it. 9:30, Avs, Flames. Flames minus 128, Avs plus 106, over under 6, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Avs plus 1.5 is minus 235, Flames minus 1.5 is plus 186. I like the over, minus 118. 10 o'clock, TNT, Stars, Sharks. Stars minus 162, Sharks plus 134, over under 6, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Stars minus 1.5 is plus 156, Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 94. Another over I like. And Lightning Canucks. Lightning minus 182, Canucks plus 150, over under 6.5, overs minus 124, unders plus 102. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 128, Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 158. For this one, I'm going to go with Lightning in regulation at minus 115. All right, now move on to college basketball. We'll go over the results from yesterday, and we will look ahead to tonight's slate. This is odd. I don't know why it just took me to the NCAA tournament from a schedule standpoint. Ole Miss over South Carolina 70-58. Number 1 Houston over Tulane 80-60. Number 13 Kansas State over number 2 Kansas 83-82 in overtime. Number 9 Tennessee over Mississippi State 76-59. Valpo over UIC 76-66. NC State over Georgia Tech 78-66. Florida State over Notre Dame 72-64. Creighton over Butler 73-52. Richmond over Rhode Island 64-57. Dayton over Davidson 68-61. VCU over UMass 83-55. Toledo over Ohio 90-75. Kent State over Eastern Michigan 77-63. Akron over Central Michigan 69-51. Buffalo over Bowling Green 100-71. Ball State over Western Michigan 71-70. Northern Illinois over Miami of Ohio 81-77. Number 12 Iowa State over number 7 Texas 78-67. Southern Illinois over Evansville 78-70. Number 4 Alabama over Vandy 78-66. Wisconsin over Penn State 63-60. Wake over number 19 Clemson 87-77. Number 21 Baylor over Texas Tech 81-74. Belmont over Murray State 80-65. Kentucky over Georgia 85-71. Air Force over Wyoming 82-74. Utah State over UNLV 75-71. New Mexico over San Jose State 77-57. Boise State over Nevada 77-62. Like I said, I don't know why I am stuck here on the NCAA tournament schedule on ESPN on the app, which it's been doing that to me on the computer too. Like, it's not letting me look at the slate for tonight, which is ridiculous. Has the results up from last night, but it has me stuck on the tournament. So I guess I'll just do it from the website. Yeah, and the website just took me to the tournament too, which is really odd. Kind of ridiculous that it's doing this. All right, here we go. 6 o'clock, you have Hartford and Morgan State. My line is Morgan State by 9, total 141 and a 10th. And it is 12.5 and 135.5. I like the over. Bucknell Army. My line is Army by 15, total 140 and a 10th, and it's 5.5 and 143.5. Oh, I love Army minus the points. UMBC and UMass Lowell. My line is Lowell by 5.5, total 146 and a quarter, and it's 4.5 and 148.5 under. 6:30, Fox Sports 1, number 15, UConn at Seton Hall. My line is UConn by 5.25 or 4.25, total 138 and 3/10, and it is. Now I have to pull up a Vegas Insider for this one because Seton Hall's in New Jersey. 4.5 and 135.5, so very close. I like the over. $7:00, ESPNU, Virginia Tech at number 10, Virginia. My line is Virginia by 10.5, total 134 and 9/20, and it is 5.5 and 126.5. Over. TCU in West Virginia, number 14 TCU at West Virginia. My line is TCU by 7, total 145 and a 10th, and it's 2. Why is West Virginia favored? They're terrible in Big 12 play this year. Come on. That's the worst line of the year. Give me TCU plus a 2.5 and plus 116. Oh my God. 148.5. Stop with the favoritism of West Virginia. They're 0-5 in Big 12 play. I have no business being favored over ranked TCU. It's different if it's like Texas Tech, Oklahoma, but this is TCU for crying out loud. Eat my crow if West Virginia wins tonight. ESPN2, number 16, Auburn at LSU. My line is LSU as a 5-point dog, total 136.25. And it is 4.5 and 138.5. Under. I could just have the schedule on my phone. Now the schedule's on my phone too. All right, Cincinnati and USF. My line is Cincinnati by 9.5, total 142, and it is 3.5 and 141.5. Give me Cincinnati minus a 3.5. East Carolina Temple. My line is Temple 15, total 138 and 2/5, and it's 9.5 and 135.5. Give me Temple minus 9.5. Colgate Holy Cross. My line is Colgate 15, total 142 and 9/20, and it is 13.5 and 141.5. Slightly in the Colgate. Lafayette American. My line's American by 14, total 130 and 7/20. And we got 4.5 and 121.5. I love American minus the points. Bradley, Indiana State. My line's a pick and 137 and 19/20. And we got Indiana State by 1.5, total 137.5. Slightly in the Bradley. And in the money lines, plus 108. Pitt, Louisville. ACC Network. My line is Louisville by 9.75, total 140 and 2/5. And it's 9.5 and 141.5. Slight under. BU Navy. My line is Navy by 0.5, total 139 and 3/5. Oh, I said Navy by 0.5, or BU by 0.5 by a mistake. My projection is Navy by 0.5. So Navy 2.5, total 136.5. I like the over. Ohio State, Nebraska on the Big Ten Network. My line is Ohio State by 6, total 138 and 19/20. And it's 6.5 and 137.5. Slight over. Florida and Texas A&M on the SEC Network. My line is A&M by 6.25, total 141 and 3/10 or 3/5. And it's 4.5 and 137.5. Over. St. Louis and Loyola Chicago on CBS Sports Network. My line is St. Louis by 8 3/4 to 144 and a 20th. And it's 5.5 and 142.5. I'm going to lay the points with St. Louis. Duquesne St. Bonaventure. My line is Bonaventure by half total 140 and 4/5. And it's Duquesne by 1.5 total 138.5. Over. Presbyterian and USC Upstate. My line is Upstate by 11 total 137 and 7/20. And we got 5.5 and 133.5. I'm going to lay the points with Upstate. Winthrop and High Point. My line's Winthrop 1.5 total 150 and 3/20. And it is High Point 1.5 total 152.5. I'm going to take Winthrop plus the 1.5 and minus 102 outright. Gardner Webb Longwood. My line is Longwood 12.5 total 137, and it is 5.5 and 132.5. I'm going to lay it with Longwood. UNC Asheville and Charleston Southern. My line is Ash by 10.5 total 146 and the 20th. And it's only 1.5 and 144.5. I'm laying it with Asheville. Radford Campbell. My line is Campbell by a half total 135 and 11/20. And it's Radford 1.5 total 127.5. Give me the over. Wofford and Western Carolina. My line's Wofford by 1 total 139 and 3/4. And it is 2.5 and 138.5. That's a tough one. Slight lean to Western Carolina. Samford and East Tennessee State. My line's Samford by 9 total 141 and 9/10. And it's 5.5 and 140.5. I'm laid to 5.5 with Samford. Furman Chattanooga. My line is Furman by 2 total 150 and a 10th. And it is Chattanooga by 1.5 total 152.5. This is going to end up a pick'em. Give me Furman plus 1.5 and minus 106. 8 o'clock, SMU Tulsa. My line is Tulsa 2.5 total 142 and 3/10. And it is SMU by 3.5 total 146.5. Give me Tulsa plus 3.5 and plus 146 outright. Illinois State and Northern Iowa. My line is Northern Iowa by 12.5 total 134 and 17/20. And it is 8.5 and 135.5. I'm going to lay 8.5 in Northern Iowa. Missouri State Drake. My line is Drake 11.5 total 132 and a 20th, and it's 6.5 and 127.5. I'm going to lay the points with Drake. Abilene Christian, Utah Valley. My line's Utah Valley by 9 total 143 and 4/5. And it's 9.5 and 143.5. Very close. Slight lean to Abilene Christian. North Alabama and Central Arkansas. My line is Central Arkansas by 2 total 151.25, and it's 1.5 and 155.5 under. 8:30 Fox Sports 1 number 8 Xavier at the Paul. My line is Xavier by 13.5 total 152 and 17/20, and then it's 8.5 and 157.5. I'm going to lay the points with Xavier. Number 22, Providence, at number 20, Marquette on CBS Sports Network. My line is Providence by a quarter to the 150 and 19/20. And it's Marquette 7.5 total 150. Give me Providence getting the 7.5. They're plus 265 to win outright. Number 25, Arkansas at Missouri. My line's Arkansas by 1, total 150 and a 20th. And it's Missouri 1 up, total 153.5. Give me Arkansas plus 1.5 and plus 106. I almost said Missouri plus 1.5. Apologies, guys. Oklahoma State on ESPNU. My line is Oklahoma State by 3/4, total 150 or 131 and 11/20, and it's 1.5 and 128.5. Over. Northwestern Iowa postponed. I don't know why. So let's see. This game will be postponed because of COVID health and safety protocols within the Northwestern program. And the two schools will work with the Big Ten on rescheduling options. That's according to CBS Sports' John Rothstein. Northwestern Iowa because of COVID protocol. Utah Tech Grand Canyon. My line is Grand Canyon by 19, total 137 and 19/20, and it is 13.5 and 136.5. I'm relayed the points with Grand Canyon. Oregon Cal on the Pac-12 Network at 10 o'clock. My line's Oregon by 12, total 132 and 13/20, and it's 7.5 and 131.5. I'm going to lay the points at Oregon. They looked like they ride the ship a little bit. And last but not least, 10:30 Fox Sports 1, San Diego State, Colorado State. My line, San Diego State by 8, total 142 and 3/10, and it's 4.5 and 142.5. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with San Diego State. All right, now move on to soccer. That was a long college basketball segment. There's a lot of games and there's some confusion. There wasn't many soccer games of note from yesterday, but we'll touch on them, and then we have some games today too. So, third round of the English FA Cup. Birmingham over Forest Green 2-1. Luton over Wigan 2-1. Liverpool over Wolves 1-0. Bristol City over Swansea 2-1 in extra time. And West Brom over Chesterfield 4-0. One game today, 2:45. It's Leeds and it's Cardiff. I have no idea how to project how this game will go. I'm going to pull it up right now. Leeds is minus 410. Cardiff is 8-1 draw plus 470. So Leeds is a pretty big favorite. Let's go over 3.5 goals at plus 116. Spanish Copa del Rey, Real Sociedad over Mallorca 1-0. Sevilla over Alaves 1-0. And we have 4 games today. Sporting and Valencia. Valencia is plus 115. Sporting Gijón is plus 245. Draw is 2-1. I'm going to go with Valencia plus 115. 2 o'clock, we have Athletic and Espanyol. Athletic Bilbao is minus 260. Espanyol's plus 650. Draw plus 330. We're going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 116. 3 o'clock, Levante and Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid's minus 140. Levante's 4-1 draw plus 230. We're going to go over 2.5 goals at plus 112. And Betis and Osasuna. Betis is minus 105. Osasuna 3-1 draw plus 210. We'll go with Betis at minus 105. And then we have the Italian Supercoppa, 2 o'clock. We have Milan and Inter Milan. Milan's plus 170, Inter's plus 145, and the draw's plus 210. I'm going to go with the draw. Listen, Inter Milan's really good. I think Milan's really good. This is a good rivalry. I think this is going to come down to the end, so I like the draw at plus 210. And then we have English Premier League today at 3 o'clock. We have Crystal Palace and Manchester United. Man United's minus 145. Crystal Palace is 4-1. Draw plus 280. For this one, I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 116. So now I'm going to do a quick check and see if anything else of significance has to be discussed. And it looks like we are good with soccer for today. All right, now move on to tennis. We will go over the results from the second round and like some of the remaining first rounds from today, and look ahead to a little bit tonight and into tomorrow. We'll start with the men's. So the remains of the first round and early into the second round. So first round, 24 seed Roberto Bautista Agut over Joao Sosa in 3 sets. 4 seed Novak Djokovic over Roberto Carreño Baena in 3 sets. Adrian Manarino over John Isner in 4 sets. 2 seed Casper Ruud over Tomas Machak in 3 sets. Alexei Popyrin over Chun-Sin Chang in 5 sets. Brandon Holt over Alexander Vukic in 3 sets. Ugo Humbert over Richard Gasquet in 3 sets. Thanasi Kokianis over Fabio Fognini in 3 sets. 22 seed Alex de Minaur over Yu Hsu in 3 sets. Emil Ruusuvuori over Max Purcell in 4 sets. Jensen Brooksby over Chris O'Connell in 4 sets. Maxime Cressy over Albert Ramos Vinolas in 4 sets. Tommy Paul over Jan-Lennard Struff in 3 sets. 19 Holger Rune over Filip Krajinovic in 3 sets. Ben Shelton over Zhang or Zizhen Zhang in 5 sets. Michael Momo over Laurent Lecoli in 5 sets. And then second round from yesterday, 16 seed Francis Tiafoe over J.C. Chang in 3 sets. Mackenzie McDonald upsets 1 seed Rafael Nadal in 3 sets. As Nadal suffered a hip injury, so that's that. 6 seed Felix Auger-Aliassime over Alex Molcon in 5 sets. 15 seed Jannik Sinner over Tomas Echeverry in 3 sets. 24 seed Roberto Bautista Agut over that's first round. We did that already. All right. And then today's results so far. 11 seed Cam Norrie over Constant Lestine in 4 sets. Jiri Lecheko over Chris Eubanks in 4 sets. Talon Griekspoor upsets 32 seed Baltic Van de Zandschulp in 3 sets. 29 seed Sebastian Corda over Yusuke Watanuki in 3 sets. 10 seed Hubert Hurkacz over Lorenzo Sonego in 5 sets. 3 seed Stefano Tsitsipas over Rinky Hijikata in 3 sets. 20 seed Denis Shapovalov over Taro Daniel in 3 sets. 28 seed Francisco Cerundolo over Corentin Moutet in 4 sets. Enzo Cousaud over Hugo Dellien in 3 sets. 31 seed Yoshihito Nishioka over Dalibor Versina in 3 sets. 17 Daniil Medvedev over John Millman in 3 sets. Martin Fucsovics over Lloyd Harris in 4 sets. 18 Karen Kakdevab over Jason Kubler in 4 sets. Dennis Kudla over Roman Safalulin in 4 sets. And that was actually a first round match. And then the rest of the second round, we have at 7 o'clock, you have 25 seed Dan Evans and Jeremy Chardy. I'm going to go Dan Evans in 3 sets. 30 seed Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and Tommy Paul go with Fokina in 4 sets. 8:30, Jensen Brooksby and 2 seed Casper Rudd. We're going to go Rudd in 3. 9 o'clock, 5 seed Andrei Rublev and Emil Rusevori. We're going to go Rublev in 3. Ben Shelton and Nicholas Jarry will go with Jarry in 5. I think that's going to be a good one. 23 seed Diego Schwartzman and J.J. Wolf will go Schwartzman in 4. 10-15, you have Michael Momoa and 12 seed Alexander Zverev. We're going to go Zverev in 3. 11 o'clock, you have Dennis Kudla and Ugo Humbert. That's a good one. We're going to go Ugo Humbert in 5. 8 seed Taylor Fritz and Alexei Popyrin. We're going to go Taylor Fritz in 4. And then 11:45, you have 14 seed Pablo Carreno and Benjamin Bonds. You go with Carreno in 4. And then some second rounders into the night. 12:15, you have Brandon Holt and 24 seed Roberto Bautista Agut. We're going to go with Bautista Agut in 3. 27 seed Grigor Dimitrov and Laszlo Dare. We're going to go with Dimitrov in 5, but I don't feel good about that. I think Derek can win that one. Maxime Cressy in 19, Holger Rune. We're going to go with Rune in 3. 3 a.m. you have Enzo Kosusadad and 4C Novak Djokovic. We're going to go with Djokovic in 3. Adrian Manarino and 22 seed Alex Demeter. We go with Demeter in 4. At 4:15 a.m. Andy Murray and the Nazi Kakianis. We're going to Andy Murray in 4. All right, women's. We'll go over some of the results from yesterday and today. Look ahead to tonight and tomorrow into the second round. So, first round results from yesterday. Claire Liu over Madison Brangle in 2. Marketa Vondrasova over Allison Risk in 3. 12-seed Belinda Bencic over Victoria Tomanova in 2. 2-seed Ons Jabeur over Tamara Zinasek in 3. Yulia Putintseva over Sarana Seresta in 3. Lauren Davis over Danka Kovnovic in 3. 18-seed Ludmila Samsonova over Jasmine Paolini in 2. Petra Martic over Victoria Golubic in 2. Donna Vencik over Oksana Selmateva in 3. And 9-seed Veronika Kudermetova over Marina Zanevska in 2. And then the second round from yesterday, Angelia Kalinina upsets 15-seed Petra Kvitova in 2. 3-seed Jessica Pegula over Alexandra Sasnovic in 2. 6-seed Maria Sakkari over Diane Schneider in 3. And 1-seed Iga Swiatek over Camila Osorio in 2. All right, first round from this morning. 23-seed Sui Zhang over Patricia Marie Teague in 3. Varvara Gracheva upsets 8 seed Daria Tasakina in 2. Nuria Parias Diaz upsets 14 seed Beatriz Haddad Maya in 2. Anastasia Potapova over Solane Stevens in 2. Magda Lynette over Meyer Sharif in 2. Lucrezia Stefani over Tajana Maria in 3. 2017, Arena Begu over Elizabeth Vondlik in 3. Laura Siegman over Lucia Bronzetti in 3. And then second round results from early this morning. 24 seed Victoria Azarenka over Nadia Podoroska in 2. Bernarda Pera over Kuen Zhang, your 29 seed in 2. 13 seed Danielle Collins over Carolina Muchova in 3. 22 seed Elena Rybakina over Kaja Juvan in 2. Marta Kostyuk over Olivia Gadecki in 2. 7 seed Coco Gauff over Emma Raducanu in 2. Katerina Kozlova over Katty McNally in 2. 10 seed Madison Keys over Xinyu Wang in 2. Christina Buska over Bianca Andreescu in 3. 20 seed Barbora Krejcikova over Clara Burrell in 2. 17 seed Jelena Ostapenko over Anna Bondar in 3. Lin Zhu over Jill Teekman, your 32 seed in 2. And then coming up tonight in the second round, you have 5 seed Arena Sablenka and Shelby Rogers. I'm going to go Sablenka in 3. That's going to be a good match. Also at 7 o'clock, you have 19 seed Ekaterina Alex Rendova and Taylor Taus. And we're going with Alex Rendova in 3. That's going to be a good one, too. Katie Volanets and 9 seed Veronica Kudermetova. Go Kudermetova in 2. 8-15 Lauren Davis and 26 seed Elise Mertens. That's going to be an interesting one. I think Mertens wins in 3, but I don't feel good about it. 9 o'clock, you have Anna Carolina Schmidlova and Camelia Georgi. That's a good one, too. We'll go Georgi in 3. Don't feel good about it, though. 16 seed Annette Kontaveit and Magda Lynette. We're going to go Kontaveit in 2. 10:30 Leyla Fernandez and 4 seed Caroline Garcia. We go with Garcia in 3, but don't feel good about it. 2017 Arena Begu and Laura Siegman. We're going to go with Begu in 3. Don't feel good about that one either. 11 o'clock Donna Vetchik and 18 seed Lyudmila Samsonova. We're going Vetchik in an upset in 3. Sue Zhang, your 23 seed against Petra Martic. We're actually going to go Petra Martic in 3 too, so another upset. Yulia Putintseva and 30 seed Carolina Pliskova. We're going to go Pliskova in 3. And Kimberly Burrell and Linda Fruhvirtova. We're going to go with Fruhvirtova in 3, but that was the toughest one to pick on the board. And then more second round matches into the night. You have Nuria Parizas Diaz and Anastasia Potapova. We're going to go Potapova in 2. That's a 12:30 a.m. And at 1 a.m., Varvara Gracheva and Lucrezia Stefani. We're going to go with Stefani in 3. 3 o'clock, you have Claire Liu and 12 seed Belinda Bencic. We'll go Bencic in 2. And 5 a.m., Marketa Vondrasova and 2 seed Ons Jabeur. Ons Jabeur's winning that in 2. And then we'll get into the third round on the podcast tomorrow. Alrighty. Now we're going to do the college basketball Power 6 check. I'm going to go by the Power 6 conferences and do a quick check on who I think will make the tournament at this point, who's NIT bound, and who won't see the postseason. We're going to start with the ACC. All right, so Clemson, 15-4 overall, 7-1 in conference play. I think they're in the tournament. 17 ranked Miami, 15-3 overall, 6-2 in conference play. I think they get in. Wake, 14-5 overall, 6-2 in conference play. I'm going to say Wake gets in. Pitt 12-6 overall, 5-2 in conference play. I'm going to say Pitt's NIT. I think that's a team that kind of falters late. 10 ranked Virginia, 13-3 overall, 5-2 in conference play. I think Virginia is a lock. NC State 15-4 overall, 5-3 in conference play. I think NC State makes it. North Carolina 13-6 overall, 5-3 in conference play. I think they make it despite a slow start. Syracuse 12-7 overall, 5-3 in conference play. I don't think they make out postseason. Duke 13-5 overall, 4-3 in conference play. I think they make it. Florida State 6-13 overall, 4-4 in conference play. They're bad. They're not making any tournament. BC 8-11 overall, 2-6 in conference play. They're bad. Virginia Tech 11-6 overall, 1-5 in conference play. I'm gonna say they make the NIT. Notre Dame 9-10 overall, 1-7 in conference play. They're no good. Neither is Georgia Tech 8-10 overall, 1-7 in conference play. And in Louisville, we know 2-16 overall and 0-7 in ACC play. The Big Ten. Number 3 overall ranking Purdue, 17-1 overall, 6-1 in conference play. They're in line to get a 1 seed. Their one loss came to number 23 ranked Rutgers, 13-5 overall, 5-2 in conference play. I think they make the tournament. I think they have enough big wins in conference to solidify themselves. But the Big Ten, low-key, only 2 teams in the rankings right now. Michigan 10-7 overall, 4-2 in conference play. I'm going to say they're NIT bound, but they might be in Dayton. Illinois 13-5 overall, 4-3 in conference play. I'm going to say Illinois makes it. Michigan State 12-6 overall, 4-3 in conference play. I'm going to say Sparty makes it. Wisconsin 12-5 overall, 4-3 in conference play. I'm going to say Wisconsin makes it. Iowa 12-6 overall, 4-3 in conference play. I'm going to say they're in the NIT. Northwestern 12-5 overall, 3-3 in conference play. I'm going to say they're in the NIT too. I don't feel good about it. Penn State 12-6 overall, 3-4 in conference play. I'm going to say they are NIT. Maryland 11-6 overall, 2-4 in conference play. I'm going to say they make the NIT. Indiana 11-6 overall, 2-4 in conference play. I'm going to say they make the tournament. They've had some injuries and such, but I think Illinois makes the dance. Ohio State 10-7 overall, 2-4 in conference play. No tournaments. Nebraska 9-9 overall, 2-5 in conference play. No. And Minnesota 7-9 overall, 1-5 in conference play. No. So as of right now, I have Purdue, Rutgers, Illinois, Michigan State, and Wisconsin and Indiana in. The Big 12. Number 13, Kansas State, 16-2 overall, 5-1 in conference play. They're in the tournament. They're a lock. Number 2, Kansas, 16-2 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Probably in line for a 1 seed. Kansas State, too. So both those teams, keep an eye out for potential 1 seeds. Number 12, Iowa State, 14-3 overall, 5-1 in conference play. I think they make it. Number 7, Texas, 15-3 overall, 4-2 in conference play. They're in. Number 14, TCU, 14-3 overall, 3-2 in conference play. They're in. Number 21, Baylor, 13-5 overall, 3-3 in conference play. I think they make it. I think they've salvaged themselves a little bit. Oklahoma, 11-6 overall, 2-3 in conference play. Oof. One of these mediocre-ish Big 12 teams is going to make the tournament. I don't know which one. It's probably right now Oklahoma. Oklahoma State 9-8 overall, 1-4 in conference play. No. West Virginia 10-7 overall, 0-5 in conference play. No. And Texas Tech 10-8 overall, 0-6 in conference play. No. But maybe Oklahoma State to the NIT, if not Oklahoma. I'm going to say Oklahoma and Dayton as of now. Big East. Number 8, Xavier. 15-3 overall, 7-0 in conference play. They're in. They're in play for a 1 seed. 22, Providence. 14-4 overall, 6-1 in conference play. In. Number 20, Marquette. 14-5 overall, 6-2 in conference play. In. Creighton. 11-8 overall, 5-3 in conference play. I'm going to say they are in Dayton at the moment. Number 15, UConn, 15-4 overall, 4-4 in conference play. I'm going to say they're in, but they have faltered of late. Seton Hall, 11-8 overall, 4-4 in conference play. I'm going to say they're in the NIT. Villanova, 9-10 overall, 3-5 in conference play. No. St. John's, 13-6 overall, 3-5 in conference play. Right now, I'd say NIT, but they're a couple big wins away from the dance, I'd say. Butler, 11-9 overall, 3-6 in conference play. No. DePaul, 8-10 overall, 2-5 in conference play? No. And Georgetown, 5-14 overall, 0-8 in conference play? No. Next league we are going to do is the Pac-12. Number 5, UCLA, 16-2 overall, 7-0 in conference play. Absolutely, they're in play for a 1 seed, I'd say. Arizona State, 15-3 overall, 6-1 in conference play. Yes. They're in play in that 4, 5, 6 range, I'd say. They should be ranked. I'm disappointed that Arizona State's not ranked, by the way. They're good. USC, 13-5 overall, 5-2 in conference play. I'm going to say they're in at the moment. Utah, 12-7 overall, 5-3 in conference play. They have NIT written on their forehead. Oregon, 10-8 overall, 4-3 in conference play. Right now, NIT, but I think they're the team most likely to jump and make a late season push. Number 11, Arizona, 15-3 overall, 4-3 in conference play. Yes. But I think they played themselves out of the top 2 seed. Wazoo, 9-10 overall, 4-4 in conference play. No. Washington, 11-8 overall, 3-5 in conference play. NIT. Colorado, 11-8 overall, 3-5 in conference play. NIT. Cal, 3-15 overall, 2-5 in conference play. No. Oregon State, 7-11 overall, 1-6 in conference play. No. And Stanford, 5-12 overall, 0-7 in conference play. No. They're probably on their way searching for a new coach, low-key. And last but not least, the SEC. Number 4, Alabama, 16-2 overall, 6-0 in conference play. Absolutely, they're in play for a 1 seed. Texas A&M, 12-5 overall, 4-0 in conference play. I think they've played themselves into the bracket. Number 9, Tennessee, 15-3 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Yes. Number 16, Auburn, 14-3 overall, 4-1 in conference play. Yes. Florida, 10-7 overall, 3-2 in conference play. I'd say NIT at this point. Georgia, 13-5 overall, 3-2 in conference play. I think they have put themselves in a good spot. I'm going to say they're a Dayton team at the moment. Kentucky, 12-6 overall, 3-3 in conference play. This is a hard one. I feel like that Tennessee win kind of has galvanized them, and then they backed it up with the win against Georgia. So yesterday and last week, my answer would have been no. Right now, I'm going to say Dayton for Kentucky. Or last 4 with a bye. Missouri, 13-4 overall, 2-3 in conference play. Has to be a yes at this point. Vandy, 9-9 overall, 2-3 in conference play. No. LSU, 12-5 overall, 1-4 in conference play. NIT. Number 25, Arkansas, 12-5 overall, 1-4 in conference play. For them, I'm going to say NIT for the moment, but that could change. South Carolina, 8-10 overall, 1-4 in conference play. No. Mississippi State, 12-6 overall, 1-5 in conference play. NIT. And Ole Miss, 9-9 overall, 1-5 in conference play. No. All right, so maybe next week, when I have time, I'll do a mock bracket. Maybe we'll do that on the Monday podcast. All right, now I'll move on to the news and notes for today. So Maryland quarterback Talia Tagovailoa will return for his senior season. That is really good news for Maryland, who I think wants to be a self-contender in the Big Ten football next year. Michigan offensive coordinator Matt Weiss placed on leave and is the subject of investigation to a report of computer access crimes that occurred in December. Yikes. Not great. A positive update on Russell Gage. The Bucs say Gage has movement in all of his body after being hospitalized with neck and concussion. So he's moving around. So that's good news. So some NFL stuff. The Chargers fired Joe Lombardi and Shane Day after blowing the 27-0 lead to the Jags. They should have fired Brandon Staley That's the big mistake they made, I think. I would have fired those guys too, but the fact that Staley isn't out is not good for the Chargers. The Jets are favored to land Lamar Jackson if he does not return to Baltimore, so that's really interesting. Ben Johnson is staying with the Lions as he will return as OC after engaging in talks with the Panthers, Colts, and Texans for head coaching jobs. The Colts are eyeing Dan Quinn as they put in a request to interview the Cowboys defensive coordinator, so that's interesting. Aaron Rodgers says to Pat McAfee that he can win the MVP in the right situation. Interesting. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury is a done deal for February 25th after being canceled 2 previous times it was booked. So that is really good news in boxing. So Dana must be thrilled about that. The U.S. women's national team beat in a friendly. They beat New Zealand 4-0. So that is cool to see. Musa named Player of the Year in soccer, 20 years old. U.S. Soccer's Young Male Player of the Year after logging the most minutes for a teenager in team history. Some baseball. The Red Sox signed Adam Duvall, 1 year, $7 million. The Marlins are in on Aroldis Chapman. Speaking of the Marlins, they're talking with the Cardinals about Pablo Lopez. That's interesting. Those trade talks are back. And insiders in the league believes that Shohei Ohtani may be the first $500 million player once he enters free agency. Whew. A lot of NBA stuff. The Spurs want 2 first-round picks for Jakob Poeltl. That's way too much. And I mean way too much. Fred VanVleet opened the staying in Toronto. As they appear open to resuming contract dialogue after the season. I think he's a trade candidate. OG Anunoby, the Raptors want a DeJounte Murray-like package. Multiple unprotected first-round picks. I don't blame him. But I don't know if he'll take that much. The Hornets taking offers on Terry Rozier ahead of the trade deadline. The Clippers are open to trading John Wall as they are trying to look for front court depth. So that's interesting. I think the Knicks could be a match for them. Like if they'll be Toppin maybe. And there has to be some other stuff. In each direction. So the Mavericks are getting 2 key players back from injury. Dorian Finney-Smith, 14 games with an adductor injury, and Josh Green, an elbow injury, 20 games. So both guys back tonight. There's a scuffle in the Raptors-Bucks game last night as Brook Lopez got ejected after ripping off Gary Trent Jr.'s headband. Whew. John Morant tweets that he had his 7th drug test of the season waiting for him yesterday. Oof. Pistons rookie Jalen Duren lost his passport as they're trying to get him to Paris in time for Thursday's game in Paris. Whew. New Cardinals general manager Monty Ossenfort makes it clear in his inductory presser. Ego will not be tolerated in this organization. Whoo! He was talking about Kyler Murray. Whew. The Titans hire 49ers director of personnel, Rand Carthon, as their new general manager. promising hire for Tennessee. Cantheron, been around some good teams over the last several years. Good mentor in John Lynch. I thought he was somebody that the Giants were potentially looking at last year, but I, among everybody else, was in favor of Joe Shine, who I think has done an amazing job. And obviously, that was the right choice for them. So we'll see if this is the right choice for Tennessee. And Ivan Provorov boycotts Flyer Pride jersey night for they did a LGBTQ plus Pride Night jerseys for warm-ups, as Provorov cited the Russian Orthodox religious beliefs. I think he's going to get criticized for that, personally, by his teammates and the Philly fan base. But John Tortorella stuck up for him. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There's a couple that jumped out to me today. Best bet so far in the year is an amazing 11-1. The one loss was the game where Miami won by 1 point at home against OKC. So there's a game that jumped out to me. It's Big East. Oh, it went up to 8.5. Ooh. But I don't know if I want to pay that juice on that number for Providence. I'm going to do it, though. Minus 120. I'm laying a whole unit Providence plus the 8.5 against Marquette as my best bet of the day. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping all the games, look ahead to everything. Tomorrow we have Australian Open. We have a golf tournament to pick. We have news and notes and best bet too. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.